mañana se siente. Con Helio y la bandida, tu día empieza mejor. Noticias, risas y música con sabor latino y mucho flow. El show de la mañana por la 95.7 FM. El show de la mañana en vivo por Facebook y YouTube también. Tu Fiesta Radio, la casa de los latinos. Con él y la bandida, de 6 a 10 de la mañana.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our monthly Children's Trust of Alachua County segment. What a great day to be here at Tu Fiesta Radio 95.7 FM. Este es nuestro segmento mensual. It is June 18th. 18 de junio, son las 9:31, night 31st. And I am going to pass the mic to the queen of Children's Trust of Alachua County, the one and only Marsha Kane.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Excited to be here as always, and really excited about today's topic. Arts education.
Ooh.
Yeah, because the power of the arts and creative enrichment, it can do so many things for our youth, from building their confidence, helping them develop skills they didn't even know they had, and certainly giving them skills that they will be able to use for the rest of their lives. Joining us this morning are two of my favorite organizations and some folks that represent them. We have Miss Rhonda Wilson, the founder and production director of the Star Center Theater. Welcome, Miss Rhonda.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Great to be here.
Ma'am. And then we have Miss Vanessa Vargas Wilson. She is the director of programming for Crafty Gemini Youth Development Organization. So welcome, both ladies.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
So let's dive right in. Rhonda, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about the Star Center Theater.
Well, the Star Center Theaters, we started out as just the children's theater, and that's our big focus 26 years ago now.
Wow.
And we only had a few kids, maybe 4 kids, going around the neighborhood asking people to put their kids in an arts program. No funding, there's not a lot of funding for the arts. And so I wanted to do something for kids that didn't have as much accessibility as some of the other students that I worked with at school who were able to do lessons and things like that. So I said, these are kids need an outlet, and they're just as talented. They just need some encouragement. And so I began the Star Center, and that's what we do, and we still do it full time, all year round, programs all the time. But our summer camp is our big thing, yes.
And so Star Center, it's productions, right?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
kinds of productions?
Well, I'm a big fan of historical musicals. I love history, and I love teaching through the arts, because I think kids learn through the arts. We know that. So I'm a big on history and music, and kids like music and dance, so we do a lot of musicals, but I want to make sure they also get that educational component and learn something they didn't know before about our history or about what's going on in society, because I'm really big on social dramas and social commentary. So yeah.
Excellent. And so, Vanessa, let's talk about Crafty Gemini. What is Crafty Gemini Youth Development?
So Crafty Gemini Youth Development is a nonprofit organization where we aim to teach kids, right, the youth of our local communities, different life skills through arts and crafts. And we also kind of put a lean on entrepreneurship in there, because as Miss Rhonda said, kids learn through the arts. It's not just learning what they're making, in my case with the crafts, it's also learning how to problem solve. It's also learning how to trust their own creative instinct. This is not necessarily where everybody's giving you a specific direction. You must do it like this. Like they get a lot of that in school, right? Plenty of that. So this is more of an open, free, creative space. And then also get them to start thinking a little bit like, I really like this. Maybe I can do something more with this, right? Beyond a hobby.
Yes.
I'm a big proponent of we don't always have to turn our hobbies into jobs because it's very important and healthy, I think, for kids to have a hobby just and keep it just that. But also to feel like if you do want to take it to the next level, start thinking like a business owner. What kinds of things do they need to be thinking about? So we do a lot of different types of crafts with them, but also always kind of throwing in that little entrepreneurship slant in there, the lean, just to get them thinking along those lines.
Love that. Love that. So you all, we have, CTAC funding has helped both of your organizations. To date, we put about $2 million this year into funding about 22 summer camps, right? Another almost $900,000 into funding or an investment into our enrichment providers. And our enrichment providers are all over the county, right? Working with children with churches and community centers and pretty much anywhere there are kids, right? Our enrichment providers will go there. So I say that so that if there are any parents listening or any churches or groups who have youth groups, go to the Children's Trust website, look for enrichment providers, and you would be able to reach out to folks like Vanessa and have them come and work, do some kind of fun activity with your youth. You all, let's talk about the exposure to performing arts, Miss Rhonda. Why is exposure to performing arts so important for young people?
And just like she was saying, it's not about making everybody a Broadway star or a television actor. In fact, a lot of the kids go on to do other things. We were just talking about the kids that grew up in the Star Center. Some are doctors, some are lawyers, some are teachers, some are different things. But it teaches you, gives you social skills that you can talk in front of people. You learn to get along with a different set of people. And that's why I love the summer camp, because we have kids from everywhere. Whereas in school, you see the same kids. But this way, you learn to problem solve with other kids, because you may get into something with another child, but you learn to problem solve. And those skills will take you, as you grow, to learn to problem solve and love to talk in front of people and love to have some confidence and creating something. So I love the fact that we're able to do that with the arts, and it's not just for that, but some people go on to be stars. In fact, we go to New York every other year, and we're going this year with 68 people and 39 kids. So they go to see the bigger pictures, those that are really serious about performing arts as a career.
Please, when you go to New York, make sure you guys stop by the Buena Vista Social Club Broadway show and let me know, because I can introduce you to my friend Renecito Abich, who is actually one of the stars of the show. And I'll make sure that you guys get a backstage experience.
Well, talk to me after this.
I love that.
No, yeah, absolutely.
That's a great connection.
My friend is one of the producers on that show.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to say something, because I am big on arts. I believe that any human being that is connected to arts has an incredible and endless potential to overcome other challenges that life will throw at you, because hey, life is just that. It's a process that throws challenges either today or tomorrow, but they are coming, trust me. And arts kind of like get you ready for it, because it goes deep in your roots and your emotions, in actually sometimes it shows you who you really are.
Yes.
And that's important to me. I remember and I'll share this with you guys really quick. My daughter was in baseball. And what I learned about that, when my daughter she wasn't good, to be honest with you, and I wasn't lying to myself. I said that, saying, "Oh no, she's so good. Oh, keep going." No, I knew that wasn't her thing. But I saw my daughter, and that what makes me proud. Every time she would be strike out, next time she will go back with a smile and with the optimism of, hey, let's do it.
Try it.
The other parent was like, wow, she's incredible. She goes smiling, and with that will of, I'm gonna crush it, and she strike out, and she will do it all the time. So
Resilience.
yes, and you know what that was building? Discipline and character. Like, she knew that there is always a next time, and I am going to. And you know what? She did once, only once, but she did. And for that time, I am so proud. And at the end of the day, I told her, listen, proud, the thing that makes me proud the most is that you never gave up.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in arts too.
It does.
Arts, when you are dancing, when you are crafting and something with your hands, hey, you need discipline, resilience, and commitment. And that's all the three huge elements that if we are able and capable build that, just planting that little seed in our kids' character and personalities, we have done our job.
That's right.
That's why for me, I mean, to me, as a dad, as a member of the community, just being behind the microphone and talking this, it is crucial that we understand as parents how important this topic is. Getting your son involved in programs that Children's Trust of Alachua County developed through all these amazing organizations. And that's why I actually was talking in Spanish before this segment, the importance of listening to the segment and sharing it with everybody else. So people, we continue in that growth path as a community. I love arts. I love sports. I love it all. But arts, to me, they are really, really dear to my heart.
That's great.
And Elio, you're a drummer.
I am a drummer. Thank you for sharing that. I am a classical trained musician. That drum set and percussion is my specialty, and I graduated. So I know I grew up with dancers. You know, so you know.
I do, and you know how that has transformed your life, right? So thank you for sharing all of that. I think you're absolutely right. We talk about discipline, we talk about confidence building, and certainly resilience, right? Something else I want to go back to, you mentioned talking to children about being innovative and entrepreneurship. Let's talk a little bit about that. Why is that so important to start our young people thinking about that?
So I think it's easy to almost introduce it to them at the beginning as a child. And I can speak from personal experience, you know, going through public schools myself. A lot of times what they're used to hearing is, no, be quiet, sit down. No, be quiet, sit down. So when they come into my workshops and our space, okay, it's none of that. And it's almost like they're almost a little bit uneasy, like they don't know how to react. And they're just like, I can just pick whatever I want from here. I can just choose any combination, like there's no set rules to follow, right? And so getting them to just let loose a little bit is the first step. The second step is telling them, this is what you're going to make. But if you're kind of all over the place and not locked in, you won't be able to get to the finished product. So like Elio was saying, you need patience and you need commitment to that project. There's a lot of little steps along the way to make something, right? It's not just you grab the thing and ta-da, it's done. You know, they have to slow down. They need to be in their body, in their mind. It's a whole tactile thing going on. Once they make it, for little kids, it's like, oh, that was fun. But they don't really think too deep into it. And I always stop them and tell them, do you know that what you just did, most adults cannot do? And they stop and they're like, no, really? And I'm like, take this home and ask your mom, ask your dad, ask your grandma if she can do this. And it like opens up a world of like this confidence. And I'm a big believer in gaining confidence for kids. Like they gain confidence through competence. So not even mentioning it at the beginning, but once they're done with the project, it's like, do you know what you just did? Adults cannot do this. Where I feel like a lot of different spaces in society and school, the kids might feel like they're not smart as adults. They can't do as much as adults. They're just a kid. And so in my workshops, it's like, you can do so much more. So they're excited. They want to do more. And then we stop and think, so how much would you pay for this? With this special fabric that you chose, maybe your favorite team, your favorite colors. How much would you pay for this? So not gets them thinking like a consumer and thinking, how long did it take you to make that? So if the fabric cost this much and the zipper cost this much and you know it took you an hour to make, do you think you can crank out a bunch of these, or how much do you think your friends would buy it for? Because that's the first thing they do is like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to show my friend. They're going to freak out. They can't, you know, they're going to want this. And you have a one of a kind. And I always tell them that too. Like, do you know that nobody else in the entire world has this exact thing that you just made? So it's like almost like opening their mind and their eyes to different scenarios. And so getting them to think like, you were able to do it. Now imagine if you sold this.
Yeah.
How much would it cost you to make multiples of these and keep it going?
And I love the fact that they're, using their math skills.
Oh, and this is something I talk about to people. It's pure engineering.
Yeah.
Sewing is pure engineering. I do woodworking, sewing, quilting. It's all the same. You're just using a different medium. You have to measure. You have to cut accurately. Then you have to combine them accurately in order for the dimensions to meet up at the end. So from early on, I can be teaching kids and I can be like, this kid, it's like, they're going to be an architect or an engineer because you can see how they envision things 4 steps ahead. And so I try to tell parents that also, this is not just like a babysitting, crafty, whatever.
Yes.
Like they're actually putting their math skills to use.
Yes.
It's so important.
I love that. And you know what? You just remind me of this Les Brown phrase that I always remember when he said, and he goes back to start Center Theater also, like when he says, you have something special, you have greatness within you. If every single kid, we accomplish to share this with them, like you are special in your own way. I mean, every single person should be thinking that way. You have greatness within you. Sometimes you don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
But you do. And it takes people like you both and coaches to actually, and opportunities like this one that Children's Trust bring to bring that greatness out of the kid and allow them to shine as the star that they can become.
And to recognize it in themselves. I was just going to say, Miss Rhonda, I know you could tell us some stories about that.
Oh, yeah.
When Elio just said that, it made me think about a line from my favorite musical, The Wiz.
Did you see our Wiz a few weeks ago?
I did it.
It's okay.
And I'm so disappointed in myself because it's my favorite.
Yes, everybody. It's a lot of people's favorite.
But it made me think of the song by The Lion, right?
Yeah. And that's what I think that's what the arts do, especially performing arts, just like the crafting arts. It's building confidence in what you do, because the first time you audition, you may not do so well, and then the next time maybe not, and then you say, what can I do to get a bigger part or a different part? I really want to try this. So it builds that confidence, and it's like a stair step. You just you keep working, you keep trying, you keep trying. So you next time you may get a different part. And that's how it is. It's not, everybody's not going to be the same. Everybody's not going to be the architect, but you may be. And there are no small parts.
But that's what I was going to say. It does teach you, though, that in order to put on a production,
every part is
you
important.
have to have people behind the scenes,
Correct.
right? So, but you can't put on the production without those folks,
and you got to have a chorus if you're doing a musical. You have to have 8 dancers, and if you're missing, you say, I don't have a big part, then you only have 7. That messes the choreographer up because they're on this. They have you in a certain place. So I think it all comes together, and kids learn that teamwork and putting something together is, the process is sometimes bigger, especially in the summer. The process is bigger than the actual product at the end. That's for the parents and the people come to see it. But the process for them and socializing and learning to get along and learning to put something together is a big part.
And I think you touched on something there that's super important, that not every part is like, there's no insignificant part in a production. So for me, it makes me think of something I teach my kids, and I try to tell the kids, is that they can do hard things. So if you're someone who's very introverted and is shy, and a big production is like the scariest thing in the world for you, if you audition for a smaller part, just being out there, you gain confidence, like, oh, this is not that bad.
That's right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
And I'm speaking from personal experience a little bit, because when I was in high school, I'll tell you a quick story. My freshman year in high school, I was in a television production class, but it was just an added-on elective that got stuck on my schedule. And I was a freshman. The seniors put on the morning announcements, okay? So I was just helping around. Well, the person that did the sports segment was absent that day. And so the teacher, the professor guy, was just like, Vargas, you're up. And I was like, excuse me, what?
That happens.
Yeah.
But because I'm not a quitter and I just was trying to act cool, I was dying inside. I was so scared. And I went up there reading the teleprompter 5 times in a row, making sure when it said 3, 2, 1, I did it. And when I tell you, it was like one of the scariest moments of my life to just get over it. I was like, I'm done. When I walked out of that library and walked into the campus building, teachers I never had, people I didn't know were giving me high fives. You killed it. You did awesome. And I was like, wow. I think those are pivotal points in our lives that allow us to see that we can do hard things. And from then on, I was like, I want to be a sportscaster. I want to be on camera. You know, so like opportunities like this to be exposed to something that can bring something else out of you. And at an early age, saves you so much time. And you know what I mean? That then they see it, they recognize the gift, and then they can go after it and spend more time chasing their goals.
Definitely.
Opportunities, and we thank the Children's Trust for helping us provide those opportunities.
And I always ask this question because I love that question. Thank you for mentioning that. So, what's the impact that Children's Trust has had in you both programs? Describe this impact with and without Children's Trust Appalachia County support.
Well, for me, founding an organization, and there was no funding. We didn't have any money. There were grants, and you have to show that you've had grants to get grants for what, you know how that process worked. And 20 years ago, we didn't have that. And the kids that I was targeting didn't have money. Parents didn't have money just to donate. So we worked hard. We would find sponsors for the kids to put on productions in the summer and throughout the year. And then when Children's Trust came around years later, it was like a wow. Now we're able to serve more kids. And we double our summer camp. Kids can come. Parents don't have to worry so much about, I need to do this instead of that. And so I think being that kind of organization in the community, the Children's Trust, you're reaching a different kid. And my goal always has been, when I started the Star Center, to reach those kids that didn't have accessibility. And for me, as growing up, and because my parents didn't say, oh, you're not going to go do that arts, that theater thing. That's not in certain families, that's not a real job. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not taking, no, you got to go do something else. So what are you going to really major in school? But I knew that was a part that was so important to kids, the arts. And I worked at Duval Fine Arts, and when they turned it into an art school, the scores went up. It was a low performing school. And those have been around Gainesville. I mean, they were F school for a while, and then Dr. McNeely came along, and she said, we got to do something else. And so she found out that kids like to drum, they like to dance, they like to do this, and then their scores went up, their grades went up, because they were doing something that was activating another part of their brains. And so I think we just have to know that it's important that we activate that. And they may not become artists, they become consumers of the art, and we need people to do that as well.
That is wonderful. I have another question. I don't know if Marsha know this, but I used to teach temporary at one of the Montessori school. Okay. When I was a teacher for band ensemble and music history, I learned that every single kid and kids as a group, they have different needs, right? Oh yeah. So I want to ask you both, as coaches and teachers, instructors, what are some of those needs that you guys have found in kids these days, and the challenges that they are trying to overcome?
Wow, that's a long question. Because kids come with, especially if you work in a public school, they come with all different needs, and we always worried about testing and scores, but they come in needing a lot of things. Not necessarily, they need food, they need clothing, they need somebody to nurture them and say that you're doing a good job. So they need confidence building. So I think we become social workers, and all of our, I mean, if you work with kids, you're going to be that, because they come. Some kids come to school just to eat lunch or just to eat breakfast. They really do, and we kind of ignore that. So I think building a place where they feel safe and nurtured in some way, they can go home and be confident. So I think confidence building and social skills is important for us to build.
Very important.
Yes.
Yep. For me, I see a lot. Most of these kids down to elementary school age already have phones and cell phones and screens. And so doing stuff like our types of workshops, hands-on, we do sewing, quilting, laser cutting and engraving, 3D printing. It allows you to, yes, in some instances, we are incorporating technology, but it allows them to completely detach from the screens and now focus in on tying their brain to their hands, their eyes, and using their 5 senses in order to create something from nothing. This is not just like tap, tap, and ta-da, it's here. You know what I mean? So it allows them, I think, to slow down, to be a little bit more in their bodies, which I think is very important these days. And not everybody plays sports. Like, yes, sports is great because it allows you, to get out that energy and move their bodies in different ways that are super important for them. But using their hands in ways that they're not used to using.
Yeah.
You know, this is the sewing machines are not touch screen. I've had kids go up to a machine thinking it's touch screen, and we're like, no,
Yeah.
this doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It has a motor. You got to press the foot pedal, and then understanding all the different components that go into the prep work to then start making it. So for me, it's slowing them down, getting them off of the screens, and allowing them to interact with other students where in a regular classroom setting, one student might be the one that gets the better grades and the other one is not. Well, then when they come into my workshops, the kid that doesn't have the better grades is flying through the project, and the other kid is like, how are you doing that so well?
Yeah.
So it allows them to level up next to, right, side by side with their same peers in a different environment that now they feel like, oh, okay, I got something here
It
to offer.
equalizes
Exactly.
everything.
A level playing field.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes me think about, those social, emotional, and interpersonal skills
Very
that are
important.
being developed,
Absolutely.
right, through the arts. So there are
Right.
just so many benefits from arts education, and I'm really proud that we have the opportunity to work with so many of you all. Summer is what? Summer's, you think, fun and fast, right? And we have these camps, and you all, Crafty Gemini, you're going everywhere,
are.
all around the county. So tell us a little bit about that.
So that's one of the things I wanted to say when you were asking the question of the impact that the Children's Trust has made. That's one of the most important things, is that it allows us to bring our team, our machinery, right? We're not just at some place where parents have to worry about transportation or getting the kids there on time. We're coming to them and we're bringing all the stuff that we need, all the tools, the machines, everything. Literally, we just bring it, we set it up. And so we've been able to reach over 1,200 kids in the last year-ish or so. So, going to different after-school programs, middle schools. We've done a couple different after-school programs in Gainesville. So one of the things at the Westside Park after-school program that they have there is they actually wanted us to come teach because they had such a big program that they were unable to take the kids on field trips. So then they're all just there. So for that program, we were able to do both 4th and 5th graders. So we split them up. And so every week we were reaching this group of kids, and you could see the 3rd graders like, when are they going to help us? Like, to teach us the stuff, but it was a way for us to go and teach, and help multiple groups of kids in the same place because they weren't able to go anywhere else. We've done after school programs at Mabane Middle School up in Alachua, so we target both the Gainesville, some Gainesville after school programs and summer camps, as well as the ones in more rural areas. And it's been a lot of fun. It's funny because at first they were kind of like, what is this? Like one more thing we have to do after school, they're tired. But now, I mean, by the time we go a few times, the kids are like, Crafty Gemini is here. And they're like, can I go first? And they like, come help us set up. Do you need help? And just seeing them kind of open up in that way. We've had kids who the person instructing like the after school program has to reach out to the parents and tell them, hey, your kid usually is not wanting to incorporate into these workshops and stuff, and now he is, because it's just, and it's so quick. It's just a matter of letting the kids be seen like, oh, look what we're going to do. You get to pick whatever you want. They're like, okay, like right there, just pick which one of these images you want to put, or which one of these designs. It's like, my choice matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And something like that after a long day at school.
Yeah.
It really has been great.
And I love that. It makes me think about, providing kids with voice, right?
Yes.
Agency
That's so
and voice.
important.
And talking about choices, here in Alachua County, we are one of the few counties that we developed this program through Children's Trust of Alachua County. It's called Teens Work. And we have some teens here that we want to present. I don't know if they can come inside the studio now so we can ask them a few questions and talk to them really quick, because I know that they are here with us, and that would be wonderful to hear a little bit from them.
Yeah, thank you, Elio. We have 2 young interns with us this summer in our Children's Trust offices. However, there are over 300 of these young people all throughout the county working this summer through Teens Work with over, I believe, 125 businesses. So I'll let them introduce themselves and let them tell. Did I take it off?
No, you can pass it to them.
Share with everybody your name and your grade you're going to be entering into, and your high school.
My name is Jalea Mitchell. I'm going to be a rising sophomore, and I go to PKM.
All right, Julia.
My name is Elvis Makaza. I am 15 years old, and I'm a rising sophomore at Gainesville High School.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, we are so excited about having Elvis and Jalea with us at the Trust. And so you may see these Teens Work interns all throughout the county. Our Teens Work program is a 6-week summer program where we bring our young people ages 14 to 18 into our businesses, and we provide them with exposure. Again, very similar to what we've been talking about all morning, right? Exposure to for hours specific to interns. They're going to be every time they're there, every day, they're working with a different department at the Trust. They're learning about what we do as a business at the Trust. Today, they're shadowing me here on the morning show. And while we create our podcast, then we're going to go get some lunch because Miss Marsha likes to eat.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, so that hopefully by the end of the summer, they've had just a taste of what an organization like the Children's Trust does here in our community.
Well, if I can make a recommendation for that lunch, I would highly recommend you to go to Las Carretas Mexican Restaurant, because eat not only the #1 Mexican restaurant in Gator Nation, but also tonight at 9 p.m. Mexico takes on South Korea. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense.
That tie-in. Awesomeness. Well, we are excited to host our young people. Thank you all to all of our Teens Work interns this summer. I hope you all have a great experience. As we told you at the orientation, lean into it because it's an opportunity to learn something you don't know and to experience some folks you've never had the opportunity to experience before. So I love these opportunities that we are providing for our young people here in Alachua County.
That is awesome. Children's Trust of Alachua County, it is awesome. Vanessa, you're awesome. Rhonda, you are awesome. You guys are awesome. Awesomeness overdose this morning here at the morning show. Thank you for keep bringing this organization, all of the support and the growth that Children's Trust provides, with these amazing nonprofit organizations. Any last and final message, I will say, for our community this morning, Rhonda and Vanessa?
Final message. I just like to say that, thank you, Children's Trust, and parents and guardians and people out there with kids. Get your kids involved in something. If it's not arts, if it's sports, that's fine. If it's education, it's fine. If it's swimming or whatever it is, keep your kids involved, and then they can stay out of the negative influences that are out there if you keep them busy. Because if you take something from a little kid, you got to give them something else if you don't want them to touch something. So you have to give them those opportunities, and because of the Children's Trust, we're able to reach more kids that need somewhere to go and some place to be and can't access it, whether it's affordability or whether it's location or geography, but they're able to do some things. So.
For me, I would say, obviously, thank you to the Children's Trust for allowing us to reach so many of our youth in Alachua County, but also to parents, providers, teachers, and everybody out there to seek out different opportunities that organizations like the Children's Trust offer in your community. A lot of times we hear from people like, oh, we had no idea that was there. We had no idea this existed. Ask around, ask the teachers, get on Facebook, do the searches, listen to radio stations, where you can get this type of information, because the more we can put our kids in, even if it's for a little short period of time, the more exposure they get to these important opportunities, you never know what's going to come from it.
That's right.
So very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just a thank you. Thank you to you, Elio, for another great morning show. And then thank you to our partners, because at the end of the day, the work that you do is so very important, and it is our honor to be in partnership with you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
That is awesome. Happy Thursday to you all. Remember
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Okay. Thank you. Someone finally mentioned it. Thank you. I've been so hurt the entire week. Nobody cares about Father's Day, and Mother's Day was over the moon. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yes.
We love our dads.
Oh, thank you. The Papacitos. Happy Father's Day for this coming Sunday. Remember, tomorrow is Juneteenth, so celebrate as well. And hey, every month, Children's Trust of Alachua County, they keep bringing amazing organizations with amazing stories and amazing missions.
Yes.
And we want you to learn from all of them. So stay with us. Nos vemos Monday, nos vemos el lunes, because tomorrow is Juneteenth and somebody's off work tomorrow. Muchas gracias. Happy weekend. Happy Father's Day. Continue enjoying the World Cup. And most importantly, what we just mentioned, stay connected and informed through Children's Trust of Alachua County. Nos vemos la próxima semana en el show de la mañana.
En Gainesville, Florida, la casa de los latinos. Fiesta, Tu Fiesta Radio. Tu Fiesta Radio, celebrando nuestra música. La casa de los latinos. En Gainesville, Florida, 95.7. Tu Fiesta Radio.
Saludos mis hermanos latinos, soy Gilberto Santa Rosa y los invito a sintonizar Tu Fiesta Radio.
Hola, ¿qué tal? It's your girl Becky G. Los quiero mucho.
Soy Camilo. Tú sabes cómo va, te habla Nicky Jam.
Hola, soy Shakira.
Dímelo. Nosotros somos el grupo Manana.
Soy Melina León, sintoniza en Tu Fiesta Radio.
Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Yo soy Juanes.
Somos Flor del Tabaco y los invitamos a sintonizar Tu Fiesta Radio.
La variedad 24/7.
Tu Fiesta Radio, celebrando nuestra música. La casa de los latinos. En Gainesville, Florida, 95.7. Tu Fiesta Radio.
No. Mira lo que les he hecho a mi camioneta. Esto es tu culpa.
Yo estaba primero saliendo y usted me chocó a mí.
No.
Fuiste tú.
Yo voy a llamar ahora mismo a Jeffrey Melton, mi abogado.
Jeffrey, mi esposo, llámalo.
Meldon Law habla Jeffrey.
Una mujer loca aquí. Me acaba de tocar la camioneta.
Jeffrey, honey.
¿Un cliente nuevo? Sí, pero un poco complicado.
Saludos mis hermanos latinos, soy Gilberto Santa Rosa y los invito a sintonizar Tu Fiesta Radio.
Hola, ¿qué tal? It's your girl Becky G. Los quiero mucho.
Soy Camilo. Tú sabes cómo va, te habla Nicky Jam.
Hola, soy Shakira.
Dímelo. Nosotros somos el grupo Manana.
Soy Melina León, sintoniza en Tu Fiesta Radio.
Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Yo soy Juanes.
Somos Flor del Tabaco y los invitamos a sintonizar Tu Fiesta Radio.
La variedad 24/7.
Tu Fiesta Radio, celebrando nuestra música. La casa de los latinos. En Gainesville, Florida, 95.7. Tu Fiesta Radio.
We're the Martin family, and we've been members of Campus USA since 1998.
It's very important to have a personal relationship with anyone you're doing business with. They don't try to guide you in another direction when they know who you are and what you're trying to do.
I think they give a lot of people a chance that other financial institutions would not.
Everyone, helps you, make sure you have what you need, exactly what you want, in the way that you want it.
I don't feel like a customer at campus. I feel like I'm a member of their family.
Tu Fiesta Radio, celebrando nuestra música. La casa de los latinos. En Gainesville, Florida, 95.7. Tu Fiesta Radio.